Reddit. What secret are you taking to the grave? My parents took me to get my hearing checked when I was 12 because I wasn't responding when they called my name. I pretended not to hear some of the beeps in the hearing aid test room. As a result, I wore a hearing aid for 2 years when I was 14 years old. I don't know why I did that. My freshman year of college, I was really hungover one morning, and I was back at my parents' house for the rest of the weekend. I was wearing loose-fitting athletic shorts with no underwear, and kind of rocking back and forth in front of the TV to feel that satisfying slap. Any dude knows what I'm talking about. Well, I went to fart, but instead a stream of diarrhea squirted out just at the right moment and completely missed my shorts, but got all over the carpet. I went to the bathroom to grab some TP, and by the time I got back to the living room, my dad was on his hands and knees cleaning it up and yelling at my dog. I've never had the heart to tell him it was my accident. Too long didn't read, I shat the carpet, but let my dog take the blame while my dad cleaned it up. I worked for a shipping company at a customer desk. A guy I had known came in to ship a package. He was an own dealer in my town. He didn't recognize me. The package was wrapped in duct tape. I took the package, brought it out back, and made it disappear into my backpack. After my shift, I opened the package, found $37,890 in cash. I never went back to the job, never heard anything about it. I left Texas a month later with cash in hand. Power play. My dad cheated on my mum with her sister. When I was born, my aunt moved in to help my mother with the newborn, that is me. My mother told me while she was drunk at a dinner party and started it all off with, I know I sometimes sound like I hate you, but there's a reason. So, even though I love both of my parents, I secretly think they're both pretty awful excuses for human beings. My dad for obvious reasons. My mother for holding it all against me. In grade point 10, my dad made a deal with me. If I got an average of 88%, he'd buy me a new laptop. Well, the marks came in, and I only got something like an 85% average. Well, duck that. I want my laptop. So I went online to the regional school board's website and downloaded a PDF template of the report card. I don't know why they would have this available. Used a PDF editor to fill in the blanks and voila, got a brand new laptop. No regrets. Peas. After I did this, I started selling customized fake report cards for $50 each. When my brother committed suicide, I was walking into his house to go hang out, and I never knock because we're best friends. So his house is my house and my house is his house. Anyway, I walked in, got some food from the kitchen, and figured he might have a girl over because usually he'll hear me and say what's up from across the house. So I didn't bother him. I've been in his house eating for about 10 minutes when I hear the gunshot that killed him. When anyone asks, I tell them I found him like that. I don't think I'll be able to ever tell anyone I know that. If I would just knocked or walked down the hall, I might have saved his life. Edit to give an insight on any reasoning for what my brother did, whether it be financial issues, relationship troubles, or what have you. I'll give you the last line of the short note he wrote before he died. It reads, "So I'm truly sorry if you think I'm being selfish when I have been selfless my entire life, and it has left me with nothing. Rest in peace, brother. I miss you." Well, I certainly hope that my grandma takes the fact that she just caught me going at it while we are on a giant family vacation to the grave with her. I've never felt so embarrassed. I once took a week-long trip to London. My mother asked me to get her a small rock from there because neither of us have ever been out of the country. So, I spent the whole trip looking for this rock and finally find the perfect one. Fantastic. She'll love it when I get back. So I get home. I'm taking inventory of all of my souvenirs, and the rock is gone. I immediately think back to where I last saw it. It was on the bedside table in the hotel in London. So I quickly run outside and find a decent rock. I clean it off. We live in Georgia. Freaking red clay is noticeable as duck, and wrap it nicely. I eventually gave it to her with the story I got it from a castle. It'd break her heart to know that I got it from our backyard. My dad was a biker. He died in a motorcycle accident. He had this huge old garage barn that he spent hours in. I was cleaning it out with my sister, and we found a locked briefcase buried in a cupboard. We popped the lock, and it was full of women's clothing, stockings, lingerie, things like that, and definitely not my mom's size. I was pissed. He had been cheating on her. Then I got into his AOL accounts. My mom can't work a computer any better than she could work a spaceship, so I had to go in to shut his accounts down. There I found all of these screen names that he had made over the years. Every one of them had to do with stockings and panties. That's when I realized that the clothing in the briefcase wasn't a woman's. It was his. I found tons of gay pee right now on his computer as well. My sister and I swore never to tell, and we got rid of all of the evidence. My mom is extremely conservative, and even though I don't agree with her point of view, I know it would kill her to find out. That briefcase is sitting in the dump now. I threw rocks at the school with one of my best mates and some other student tattled on us. Basically we both got the paddle. Basically they smack your bum, and they sent a letter home to my dad. My dad received the letter and I lied to him and said I never threw the rocks. My dad, bless his heart, believed me and took it to our school principal and convinced him that I wouldn't lie about such things. Since the principal wanted to rectify it for my dad's sake, he offered me a free voucher for an ice cream as an apology. It's 15 years down the track now, and I still feel really bad for it. I feel like if I told my dad now it would break his heart. In my younger years I had a neighbor that constantly left a mess in the yard, making it look like a junkyard, and they let their kids just run around ducking up the entire neighborhood. I tried to sort it out civilly with them by asking them to stop doing things that pissed off everyone, but the only response I got was that I was racist and they would target me and say I touched their kids if I ever talked to them again. They were grade a-holes, so I decided to respond in kind and made an anonymous tip to the cops that they were selling. I did this for maybe 4 months, asking my buddies to make similar tips every now and then. Well, one day I come home from school. The whole neighborhood is outside on the street and the a-hole's house had cop cars and a van outside. Turns out the tips worked and the cops finally checked it out. But then I see the mother and father getting led out in cuffs. Turns out when the cops showed up it was just 2 officers. But when they went to the door to talk to them, the father took off out the back door. Long story short, that made the cops chase him down, drag him back, search the house and end up finding a duck ton of pills, coke, and weed stashed all over the house. Since they had kids, the hammer came down on the hard for that, and in the end they were both arrested for dealing, and the kids were taken away. Not sure if it was the right thing, and I will never let anyone know, but at least after that they weren't ducking up the neighborhood anymore. Not as huge as the other secrets here, but about 6 or 7 years ago I created a video together with my former boss. He was really passionate about it. After we put it up on YouTube I commented "awesome" with my private account from home. The next day he was really excited about this comment. Didn't know it was me, and I'm going to keep it a secret. It is the only comment this video ever got, at least the last time I saw it. All my friends think they watched me lose my virginity on my front lawn one fateful summer night when I was 13. We were actually just pretending to have sex in order to duck with my friends. We were both too scared to actually do it. I've never corrected them. I once pooped in a bottle. Sorry. When I was 13 I was told that my great-grandparents were going to move to Texas and start their journey to heaven. I was crushed. I would spend every day with them up until they moved in May of 2009. Before they moved, I took a shoebox and decorated it with a picture of them and angel wings. I took my Gigi's favorite shirt, my Pop-Up's favorite button-up, printed their favorite things, and stashed them away in the box. They would search for the shirt and assume they packed it away. 1 month later my Pop-Up passed away. Then my Gigi passed a week after him. I was crushed. I never told anyone but my current boyfriend about the box and most likely never will, because I'm selfish. I've only opened it up 3 times in the past 6 years. I swear the shirts still smell like them. My sister and I were on holiday together recently and very drunk one night. When we got back from the bar, naturally we started drinking more because we were on holiday. She has the ice cube tray in her hand, opens the window simultaneously, and loses her focus and drops the tray 5 floors to the street, hitting a big guy square in the dome. He looks up and started screaming and shouting in Italian, "I live in Rome," so I understood he was calling us some bad names. We just closed the window and continued drinking while we could hear this man shouting he was going to come up there and rip our heads off. Please never find me, Mr. Scary Italian Man. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe.